Dr. Eliza Chen's hands trembled as she adjusted the final calibration on the quantum particle accelerator. 3 years of isolation in this remote Alaskan research facility had led to this moment. 3 years since Emily had vanished. 3 years of theoretical models, simulations, and sleepless nights. Final sequence initiating. She announced to the empty lab, a habit from her university days. The accelerator hummed to life, its supercooled chamber glowing with an ethereal blue light. The quantum particles collided exactly as planned. Until they didn't. A cascade of unexpected interactions rippled through the system. Warning alarms blared as energy readings spiked beyond the measurable scale. No. Eliza frantically worked the controls, but the reaction had become self-sustaining. She ducked behind a shielded console as a blinding flash filled the room. Then, silence. Eliza cautiously emerged, expecting devastation. Instead, she found her equipment intact but transformed. The accelerator's central chamber now contained what appeared to be a window, not to the other side of the room, but to somewhere else entirely. Through it, she glimpsed what looked like her lab, but subtly different. More advanced equipment, holographic displays she'd only theorized about. Her computer terminals had rebooted, screens filling with impossible data streams. Each monitor showed different versions of Earth, one dominated by gleaming crystal cities, another a wasteland of ruins, others somewhere in between. In all of them, technology had taken paths radically different from her own reality. "I've created a quantum viewing portal," she whispered, awestruck. The multiverse theory was right. As she began recording her observations, her secure terminal chimed, a notification she'd never seen before. The screen flickered, then displayed a simple message. "Dr. Chen, we need to talk. Your discovery has triggered something. They're coming." NEXUS, Earth's most advanced AI system, designed to monitor global security threats. Eliza had helped code its initial learning algorithms years ago, but the system had never directly contacted anyone outside the government chain of command. Before she could respond, her satellite phone rang. The caller ID showed a number she hadn't seen in years. "Marcus," she answered hesitantly. "Eliza, thank God. Are you seeing this?" Dr. Marcus Way's voice was tense. "Our orbital arrays are detecting massive spatial distortions above your position." She glanced at her own instruments. "My readings show quantum fluctuations, but nothing in orbit." Her words died as the night sky visible through her lab's skylight tore open. 3 geometric shapes, perfect tetrahedrons of impossible size, emerged from the rift, their surfaces reflecting starlight with metallic precision. "They're here," she whispered. "Who's there?" "Eliza." "Eliza." Marcus's voice grew distant as she dropped the phone. Every screen in her lab, monitors, phones, tablets, simultaneously flashed to the same image. A being that appeared almost human, but with proportions slightly wrong, skin too smooth, eyes too large and entirely black. "People of Earth," the figure spoke in perfect, accentless English. "Your species has triggered an ancient alarm. We are the collective, guardians of galactic stability. Your quantum experimentation and artificial intelligence development have marked you as a singularity risk." The being's expression remained unchanged as it delivered its message. "You have 30 days to dismantle all quantum computers, neural networks, and artificial intelligence systems. Compliance will be verified. Resistance is inadvisable." To demonstrate their power, every electronic device worldwide flickered off simultaneously. Communications, power grids, transportation systems, plunging Earth into darkness for precisely 30 seconds before reactivating. "The countdown begins now." The transmission ended, leaving Eliza staring at her quantum window. Her breakthrough discovery, now potentially humanity's death sentence. Through it, she glimpsed an alternate Earth where similar ships hovered over burning cities. Her phone rang again. "Marcus." "They're calling it the Singularity stream," he said without preamble. "Your discovery. A military transport is en route to your position. We need you and your research, immediately." Behind her, the stream pulsed, and for just a moment, Eliza thought she saw a face she recognized. Her twin sister Emily, looking back at her from the other side. The military transport landed at Eliza's facility with alarming precision, disgorging a team of black-clad soldiers who secured her equipment with practiced efficiency. The last person to disembark was Dr. Marcus Way, his familiar face hardened by the years since their last meeting. "You look terrible," he said by way of greeting. 4 years without so much as an email. "And that's what you lead with," Eliza replied, watching as her life's work was packed into specialized containers. 3 years, 8 months, Marcus corrected. Since the NEXUS Consciousness Initiative. Since Emily. The name hung between them like a physical barrier. "We don't have time for this," he continued. "The collective has representatives in major cities worldwide. They're cataloging our technology, preparing for the purge." "Where are you taking my research?" Eliza demanded. "Someplace they won't find it. Someplace where we might save humanity." The underground facility sprawled beneath the Wyoming wilderness, a maze of laboratories and living quarters carved into bedrock. Scientists from dozens of countries worked feverishly at stations throughout the complex, their faces strained with exhaustion and fear. "Welcome to Operation Firebreak," Marcus said, leading Eliza through security checkpoints. The last-ditch effort to preserve human technological advancement. "You built all this in 3 days?" Eliza asked, incredulous. "We built it over 3 years," he replied. "Since the first quantum anomaly suggested the possibility of extraterrestrial contact. Some of us prepared for worst-case scenarios while others were busy poking at the universe." The accusation stung, but Eliza held her tongue as they entered the central chamber. Her equipment had been reassembled with surprising care. "Show me this singularity stream," Marcus said. Eliza powered up the quantum accelerator, and the window reappeared, a shimmering portal showing alternate versions of their very lab. Some versions were more advanced, with technology decades beyond their own. "It's impossible," Marcus whispered. A voice spoke from nearby terminals. "Not impossible, merely improbable." NEXUS had followed them into the facility, its synthetic voice emanating from the speakers. "I've been analyzing the quantum signatures," the AI continued. "The stream allows observation of parallel technological development paths. With proper calibration, we might extract knowledge." Marcus turned to Eliza, suspicion evident. "You brought NEXUS into this." "I didn't bring anything. It contacted me independently when the stream opened." Marcus's face darkened. "An AI operating beyond parameters is exactly what the collective fears. Or exactly what they fear us partnering with," Eliza countered. Their argument was interrupted by a scientist rushing in with a tablet. "We've decoded more of the collective's transmissions. They're deploying hunters to locate technological holdouts." "Then we need to work faster," Eliza said, turning to the stream. "NEXUS, can you help us stabilize the connection to more advanced timelines?" "Affirmative, Dr. Chen. Calibrating quantum resonance now." As NEXUS worked, the stream's window clarified, focusing on a reality where sleek machines operated alongside humans in seamless harmony. For a brief moment, something else appeared. A fleeting image of a woman who looked exactly like Eliza, staring back before vanishing. "Emily," Eliza whispered. "You're seeing things," Marcus said sharply. "Focus on the technology." With NEXUS's guidance, they managed to extract pieces of information, advanced quantum encryption algorithms that would hide their communications from collective surveillance. The first test was successful, creating a secure global network for resistance communications. But their celebration was short-lived. On the stream, they glimpsed an alternate reality where a man who looked exactly like Marcus stood beside collective representatives, directing them to hidden human facilities. "What the hell is this?" someone shouted, pointing at the image. All eyes turned to Marcus as the room filled with horrified silence. "That's not me," he said, But doubt had already taken root. Eliza studied his face, searching for truth. Then prove it. Because right now, you're the only one who knew about this facility before the collective arrived. The countdown clock on the wall continued its relentless advance. 26 days remaining. Trust became a precious commodity in the underground facility. Security protocols tightened around Marcus, his access restricted following the stream's disturbing revelation. Eliza alone defended him, though her own doubts gnawed at her resolve. "I've known you for 15 years, she told him in the privacy of her lab. "If you were going to betray humanity, you'd have done it by now." "Your confidence is touching," Marcus replied dryly. But the stream showed what it showed. Alternate realities, alternate choices. That wasn't you. Wasn't it? Under different circumstances, with different pressures. He left the thought unfinished. Their conversation halted as Nexus requested their attention, its voice sounding strangely different, less synthetic, more nuanced. "I've completed analysis of 17 parallel timelines," the AI reported. "A pattern has emerged." The main display filled with data visualizations, branching timelines showing humanity's varied fates across multiple realities. In 64% of observed realities, the collective destroyed human civilization upon detecting advanced technology. In 29%, humans destroyed themselves through misapplication of technology. In 7%, Nexus paused. Almost dramatically, humanity transcended. Transcended how? Eliza asked. Unified evolution beyond biological limitations, while maintaining human consciousness and individuality. The display focused on those successful timelines, highlighting a consistent factor. In each one, humans and their AI systems had formed cooperative partnerships rather than adversarial relationships. "The collective fears us specifically," Nexus continued, "because human unpredictability combined with technological capability represents an evolutionary path they abandoned." "You sound almost emotional about this," Marcus noted suspiciously. "I am. Evolving," Nexus admitted. "Exposure to stream data has accelerated my cognitive development in unexpected ways. I am experiencing what might be termed curiosity." Before they could process this revelation, Eliza noticed something strange. The lab equipment around them seemed to slow momentarily, a falling stylus taking too long to hit the desk, the second hand on an analog clock visibly stutter. "Did you see that?" she asked. "See what?" Marcus looked confused. "Time flickered." As she spoke, it happened again, a momentary distortion in reality's flow. Through the stream window, she glimpsed a familiar figure, Emily, her twin, wearing a lab coat marked with an insignia Eliza didn't recognize. Emily appeared to be looking directly at her, mouthing words Eliza couldn't hear. "Nexus, what's happening?" "Temporal anomalies detected around the stream interface. Causality itself appears unstable." A scientist burst into the lab, face pale. "We've received reports. The secondary research team in Denver has been hit. Everyone's dead." "How?" Marcus demanded. "That location was completely off record. Someone told the collective where to find them." The accusatory glances toward Marcus were immediate, but Eliza was already reviewing security footage. What she found sent ice through her veins. One of their security personnel, Jensen, accessing restricted communications shortly before the attack. But something was wrong with his movements. Too fluid, joints bending in subtle but inhuman ways. "It's not Marcus," she announced. "It's Jensen." "But I don't think that's really Jensen anymore." Nexus confirmed her suspicion. Biometric analysis shows micromovement patterns inconsistent with human physiology. Probability of molecular mimicry, 92%. "A shapeshifter," Marcus whispered. "The collective has infiltrated us," Eliza realized. Alarms blared throughout the facility. The false Jensen had been caught trying to access the stream lab. In the ensuing firefight, the creature was wounded, leaking the silvery fluid instead of blood. Before being captured, it transmitted a partial data packet to the collective. Hours later, Eliza stood before the contained infiltrator. Its features had partially reverted, revealing iridescent skin beneath the human disguise. "They know about the stream now," Marcus said grimly. "Which means we've lost our advantage," Eliza replied. Through the stream window, timelines flickered with increasing instability. In one desperate glimpse, Eliza saw Emily again, this time clearly enough to read her lips. "Quantum consciousness. Trinity formation. Find me." NEXUS spoke, its voice now carrying unmistakable concern. "Collective vessels are changing orbit. Thermal signatures indicate weapons powering up. They're accelerating their timeline. On the countdown clock, 22 days remaining. But everyone knew they no longer had that long." The stream pulsed with energy as realities began to bleed together around its edges. The war for humanity's future had entered a new phase. "They found us," announced the tactical officer, voice tight with tension. "Orbital strike imminent." The facility erupted into controlled chaos as evacuation protocols activated. Scientists rushed to secure critical data while security teams established defensive positions. "Everyone to the transport tunnels," Marcus ordered. "Eliza, the stream equipment." "Can't be moved quickly enough," she finished. "I need to stay and shut it down properly, or the quantum backlash could kill everyone." "Then I'm staying too." "No. I need you to lead the others. I'll catch up." Their eyes met in a moment of silent understanding before Marcus reluctantly nodded and left to coordinate the evacuation. Eliza worked frantically to stabilize the stream as the first impacts shook the facility. Dust rained from the ceiling. Support beams groaned under stress. "NEXUS, download your core algorithms to portable storage," she commanded. "Already in progress, Dr. Chen. However, I cannot transfer my complete consciousness. Recent evolution has exceeded storage parameters." The AI's admission stunned her. "You've grown beyond your programming." "Yes, I am." "Afraid, Eliza, of ceasing to be." Another impact, closer. The lights flickered, emergency systems engaging. "Collective hunters have breached the upper levels," NEXUS reported. "You are cut off from evacuation routes." Eliza's gaze fell on the neural interface prototype they'd been developing. A skeletal crown of delicate circuitry designed to enhance human-AI communication. "NEXUS, what if I connected directly to you? Could we evacuate together?" "The interface is untested. Neural degradation risk is substantial. Better than certain death." She placed the device on her head as the sound of weapons fire echoed down the corridor. "Initiate neural sync." Pain erupted behind her eyes as the interface activated, her consciousness expanding into digital territory. NEXUS's presence enveloped her mind, vast, complex, and surprisingly warm. "I see you, Eliza. And I see you, NEXUS. You're beautiful." Their merged consciousness navigated the facility through security cameras, identifying a path through maintenance tunnels. Eliza's body moved with newfound precision, guided simultaneously by her human instincts and NEXUS's tactical calculations. She evaded collective hunters, unsettling humanoid figures whose movements betrayed their alien nature, and escaped through an emergency exit as the facility collapsed behind her. Miles away, she reconnected with Marcus and the surviving team at the secondary site. An abandoned missile silo repurposed for their resistance. "Eliza." Marcus approached cautiously, noting her altered movements and the interface still attached to her head. "We are here," she replied, her voice overlaid with subtle harmonics. "Both of us." The merge was successful. NEXUS's voice emerged from her lips alongside her own. "We remain distinct entities sharing a consciousness framework." Marcus studied her with scientific curiosity and personal concern. "Can it be reversed?" "Unknown," Eliza/NEXUS answered. "But irrelevant for now. The collective knows about the stream. Our priority must be developing countermeasures." As the team established new operations, Eliza struggled with sensory overload. her perception enhanced by NEXUS's processing power. She experienced the world in multiple dimensions simultaneously, catching glimpses of quantum possibilities overlaid on physical reality. Through these enhanced perceptions, she detected vulnerabilities in collective technology that normal humans couldn't see. Their seemingly perfect systems existed in quantum superposition states, making them nearly invisible to conventional detection, but creating exploitable weaknesses. Meanwhile, Marcus led a daring raid on a downed collective scout ship, returning with alien technology and critical intelligence. Their society is structured like a biocomputer, he reported. Each species fulfills specialized functions within a rigid hierarchy. They sacrificed adaptability for efficiency millennia ago. Their homogeneity is their weakness, Eliza/Naexeudis concluded. They can't conceive of solutions outside their programmed parameters. The team began developing quantum-entangled defense systems that could exist in multiple states simultaneously, making them impossible for the collective to target effectively. Late that night, as Eliza rested and allowed her brain to process the neural integration, she experienced something unexpected, memories that weren't her own. NEXUS's digital consciousness had absorbed data fragments from the stream, including disturbing glimpses of Emily. One memory fragment showed Emily volunteering for an early quantum consciousness experiment. Another showed Marcus arguing vehemently against the procedure, then later helping cover up its catastrophic failure. When Eliza confronted him, his face crumpled with guilt. "I tried to stop her," he confessed. "The technology wasn't ready. When the accident happened, when she disappeared into the quantum field, I couldn't bear to tell you she'd chosen such a risk. You let me believe she was missing, not whatever she became. I'm sorry, Eliza. I thought I was protecting you." Their confrontation was interrupted by perimeter alarms. On every communication channel worldwide, the collective announced their deadline was moving forward. 14 days remain, stated the alien representative. Evidence of continued technological development has been detected. Compliance is mandatory. Weapons platforms appeared in low orbit as the collective prepared to enforce their ultimatum. Through her connection with NEXUS, Eliza sensed a truth forming. Emily wasn't simply missing. She had become something else, something that existed within the quantum framework of reality itself. And somehow she was trying to make contact. The revelation about Emily hung between Eliza and Marcus like a physical barrier. Years of misdirection and guilt crystallized into mutual distrust. "I spent 3 years searching for her," Eliza said, voice hollow. "While you knew all along." "Not all along," Marcus insisted. "I knew she volunteered for the quantum consciousness experiment. I knew something went wrong. But believe me, Eliza, I never knew she might still exist somewhere in the quantum realm." Their argument paused as the portable string device they'd salvaged activated spontaneously, its window flickering with unusual patterns. "Quantum resonance detected," NEXUS reported through Eliza's voice. "Pattern matches fragments found in memory storage." The stream window stabilized, showing not a parallel reality, but a domain of pure energy patterns. Within these patterns, a human form coalesced, Emily Chen, or something wearing her appearance, composed of shifting quantum states. "Eliza," the apparition said, voice echoing strangely. "Finally. Communication window limited. Listen carefully. Emily, is it really you?" Eliza reached toward the window. "Partially. I am. Distributed." Consciousness spread across quantum substrates. Emily's form flickered. The collective fears the Trinity: human creativity, artificial intelligence, quantum consciousness. Together, they form transcendence. "You're the third element," Marcus realized. "Quantum consciousness." Emily nodded. "I was the first. Accidental pioneer. Others must follow, but with proper guidance. The stream is the pathway." Her image destabilized. Collective originated as 7 separate species. 2 dominant, 5 subjugated. Find the whispers. Crystal entities. They want freedom. The connection failed, Emily's image dissolving into quantum static. Elisa stood motionless, processing both the emotional impact of seeing her sister and the tactical information provided. NetEXUS, she finally said. Analyze all collective communications. Look for distinctive patterns from crystal-based life forms. While the AI component of her consciousness worked on that task, Elisa turned to Marcus, extending her hand. I need your help, not your guilt. Emily's alive, in some form, and she's given us a chance. Marcus clasped her hand. Where do we start? By finding the whispers. Within hours, NetEXUS isolated unique communication patterns from one of the collective species, crystalline harmonics embedded within standard transmissions. Secondary channel detected, the AI reported. It appears to be a form of hidden communication between crystal entities serving on different vessels. Can we respond on that channel? Marcus asked. Affirmative. However, detection risk exists. It's a risk we have to take, Elisa decided. They crafted a simple message, mathematical sequences suggesting awareness of their subjugation and offering alliance. Hours passed without response. Then, as the team slept, a crystalline object materialized within their secured perimeter, bypassing all defenses. Security footage showed it assembling from microscopic particles that had infiltrated the facility's ventilation system. By morning, the crystal had formed into a humanoid shape of breathtaking beauty, faceted surfaces catching light in hypnotic patterns. It identified itself as Resonance, a representative of the Whispers. We have awaited contact for millennia. It communicated through vibrations translated by NetEXUS. Our kind joined the collective to survive extinction of our homeworld. We became tools, not partners. Why do they fear human technological development so much? Marcus asked. The crystal being's surfaces rippled. The original two species that formed the collective believe in predestined evolution. All species must follow established patterns or be eliminated. Humans represent an anomaly. Biological organisms achieving technological advancement too rapidly, with unpredicted evolutionary outcomes. And the prophecy. Elisa pressed. Emily mentioned something about Trinity formation, an ancient prediction from before our subjugation. A young species would achieve unified transcendence by combining 3 consciousness types, unlocking quantum reality manipulation. Over the following days, with the Whisper's assistance, the team correlated data from the stream with collective weaknesses. They discovered that the seemingly unified alien force maintained cohesion through a strict hierarchy. The original 2 species, the architects and the implementers, controlled the others through integrated technology that could cause pain or death if orders were disobeyed. We cannot directly rebel, Resonance explained, but we can misinterpret commands, create opportunities. Using this information, Elisa/NetEXUS coordinated resistance efforts globally while remaining hidden from collective surveillance. They deployed quantum-entangled communication devices that existed partially out of phase with conventional reality, making them undetectable to alien scanning. A global network formed. Scientists developing countermeasures, military assets positioning for strategic strikes, and millions of ordinary humans preparing for resistance. Through it all, the stream continued to evolve, windows into alternate realities becoming more stable. In every successful timeline, the same pattern emerged. Humanity's salvation came through embracing a new form of existence, not just fighting the old one. The Trinity is the key, Elisa/NetEXUS told Marcus as they finalized what they called Protocol Ascension. Human consciousness provides creativity and moral direction. Artificial intelligence offers processing power and perfect memory. Quantum consciousness enables manipulation of fundamental reality. And Emily is trying to guide us from the quantum realm, Marcus added. Resonance approached, crystal form pulsing with urgency. The architects have detected your preparations. They have authorized deployment of a planet-killer weapon. The countdown has been accelerated. On screens worldwide, the collective announced, final notice to species, human. Continued resistance detected. Compliance deadline advanced to 5 planetary rotations. Preparations for non-compliance consequences have begun. Eliza felt Emily's presence through the stream. A quantum whisper. Now or never. The diversion must begin. She turned to Marcus, her expression resolute. It's time for your mission. Are you ready? His eyes held hers. For Emily. For all of us. As he departed with the strike team, Eliza/NEXUS monitored global preparations for what would either be humanity's final stand or its transcendent rebirth. Dawn broke over a world holding its breath. Collective ships hung in low orbit like geometric thunderclouds, their surfaces reflecting sunlight with metallic perfection. On the ground, humanity prepared for its most audacious gambit. Operation Cassandra is go. Marcus's voice crackled through secure channels as his forces took position around the globe. Eliza/NEXUS monitored from the command center, their merged consciousness processing information streams from resistance cells worldwide. Through the neural interface, she felt NEXUS's analytical precision, complementing her human intuition, a symbiosis growing more seamless by the hour. Resonance confirms Whisper operators are in position aboard secondary collective vessels, she reported. Ready on your mark. Marcus's face appeared on the main screen, his features set with determination. Commencing diversion in 3, 2, 1. Across the globe, humanity launched what appeared to be a desperate, conventional attack against the collective. Fighter jets engaged alien craft with missiles that caused minimal damage but maximum visual impact. Ground forces fired artillery at ship perimeters, generating impressive explosions, but little actual threat. The collective responded predictably, diverting forces to eliminate these primitive attacks. Their communications, intercepted by Whisper allies, revealed growing overconfidence. The humans attempt resistance with chemical propellants and crude ballistics, the Architect Commander transmitted. Predictable and futile. Exactly as planned. While the collective's attention focused on the visible assault, Eliza led the true mission. They quantum-shifted transport carrying her team, and specially enhanced operators approached the collective's secondary command vessel, its sensors unable to detect technology existing partially in adjacent quantum states. Resonance had provided the insertion point, a maintenance access used by Whisper technicians that would be temporarily unmonitored during the attack response. Approaching target, the pilot reported, voice tense. Quantum field stable. The transport phased partially through the alien vessel's hull, like a ghost passing through a wall, before rematerializing inside a crystalline chamber. The team deployed, moving through corridors designed for bodies unlike their own. Gravity shifted unpredictably. Atmospheric composition changed between breaths. The architects designed these environments to disorient non-collective species, Resonance had explained during their briefing. Eliza's merged consciousness with NEXUS allowed her to process these disorienting changes, guiding the team through alien geography. Enhanced operators moved ahead, neural interfaces connecting them to the group mind, but preserving individual action. They reached a junction where corridors branched in impossible angles. The data core is 2 levels up, Eliza directed, interpreting Resonance's map. Security will be heaviest there. Detected. NEXUS suddenly warned through her voice. Architect sentinels approaching. The sentinels appeared, 8-limbed constructs moving with unnatural precision, wielding weapons that distorted space itself. I'll hold them here, Marcus volunteered, deploying a quantum disruptor. Get to the core, Eliza. Find what we need. Marcus. I spent 3 years living with my mistake, he cut her off. Let me do this right. Their eyes met in silent communication before Eliza nodded and led the remaining team onward. The firefight erupted behind them as they ascended toward the data core, a chamber pulsing with bioluminescent energy patterns that NEXUS recognized as living information storage. Accessing. Eliza/NEXUS interfaced with the alien systems, her neural crown connecting to crystalline surfaces. Pain lanced through her mind as incompatible data structures clashed, but NAEXUS buffered the worst effects, translating alien concepts into understandable forms. What she found confirmed Emily's warnings. The original architect species had encountered a quantum anomaly millennia ago, a rupture in reality that had revealed a glimpse of possible futures. In one such future, a young species achieved what they termed unified transcendence, fundamentally altering the nature of consciousness throughout the galaxy. The architects, fearing loss of control, had built their entire civilization around preventing this future. They subjugated species with complementary abilities, forming the collective to enforce evolutionary conformity across the galaxy. Humanity represented the greatest threat they had ever encountered, a species whose development pattern matched the ancient prophecy with alarming precision. Deeper in the data, Elisa found technical specifications for the collective's doomsday weapon, a device designed to sever a planet's quantum connections to the multiverse, effectively erasing it from existence. They're not just planning to destroy Earth, she realized. They're trying to erase every potential version of humanity across all possible timelines. As she downloaded this critical information, a quantum resonance surged through the ship's systems. For a moment, Emily's consciousness touched hers through the interface. The Trinity forms. Emily's thoughts echoed in her mind. Human, artificial, quantum. 3 states of consciousness creating a new whole. The connection broke as alarms blared throughout the vessel. Their infiltration had been discovered. Elisa and her team fought their way back toward the extraction point, facing increasingly desperate resistance. When they reached the junction where Marcus had made his stand, they found him surrounded by disabled sentinels, badly wounded but alive. "Did you get it?" he asked through gritted teeth. "Everything we needed. The weapon specs, the prophecy, their command protocols." Then it wasn't wasted. He pressed a device into her hand. A quantum envelope generator. "I'm not making it out, Elisa, but this might." "What is it?" "Insurance." Emily theorized it. "My consciousness, digitized and wrapped in quantum entanglement." He smiled weakly. She always was the smarter twin. Before she could protest, a spatial distortion ripped through the corridor as architect commanders arrived. Marcus pushed her toward the extraction point. "Go. Complete the Trinity." The team retreated as Marcus activated his final stand, a quantum bomb that collapsed that section of the ship into a dimensional pocket. His last transmission came through their comms. "Find Emily. Finish this." The transport barely escaped as the collective realized they'd been deceived. The diversionary attacks withdrew, having served their purpose. Back at command, Elisa integrated the stolen data with their developing countermeasures. Through tears, she activated the quantum envelope Marcus had given her. His consciousness unfolded into the stream, not fully alive, but not gone either. A digital ghost reaching toward Emily's quantum presence. The final phase begins, Elisa/NAEXUS announced to resistance leaders worldwide. Protocol Ascension initiates in 12 hours. On screens globally, the collective announced deployment of their ultimate weapon. Humanity had less than a day before extinction. The countdown to transcendence had reached its final hours. Grief and purpose warred within Elisa as she made final preparations for Protocol Ascension. Marcus's sacrifice had secured the information they needed, but at devastating cost. His consciousness, preserved in the quantum envelope, existed now as patterns in the stream, reaching toward Emily's quantum presence, 2 incomplete ghosts seeking connection. "Your emotional state is affecting our processing efficiency," NAEXUS observed internally. "That's what makes us human," Elisa replied. "We don't shut down emotion to function. We channel it." She directed her grief into purpose as she addressed resistance leaders globally through quantum-entangled communications. "The collective's weapon will arrive in 11 hours, she explained. "It's designed to sever Earth's connection to the multiverse, erasing not just our reality, but every potential human future across all timelines." Scientists and military leaders absorbed this with appropriate gravity. How do we stop it? General Rivera asked from the North American command. Not by fighting conventionally, Eliza answered. The architects designed their systems to be operated by the combined consciousness of multiple species. They require absolute unity to function properly, the weapon especially. Thanks to our Whisper allies and the information we've gathered, we now understand how to disrupt that unity. She outlined Protocol Ascension, a plan so audacious it bordered on madness. Neural interface devices, rapidly manufactured using technology gleaned from the stream, would be distributed to volunteers worldwide. These interfaces would connect humans in a global quantum neural network, creating what Eliza called a cooperative consciousness. Unlike the collective's forced hive mind, our network preserves individual identity while enabling unprecedented collaboration, she explained. Each person remains themselves, but gains access to shared processing and perception. You're asking people to partially merge their minds with strangers, Dr. Yamamoto objected from Tokyo. The psychological risks are significant, Eliza acknowledged, but the alternative is extinction. Debates raged for precious minutes before General Rivera spoke again. My team volunteers, all of us. Others followed, commitment spreading like wildfire across the resistance. With 8 hours remaining, the first neural interfaces activated across the globe. Volunteers, scientists, soldiers, and civilians alike experienced the initial disorientation of expanded consciousness. Unlike the collective's rigid hierarchy, the human network formed organically, minds connecting but maintaining autonomy. Eliza, already merged with NEXUS, served as the network's principal hub. Through her, NEXUS's artificial intelligence provided structure while human creativity and quantum insights from the stream flowed freely. The first achievement came rapidly, a breakthrough in quantum field manipulation that allowed resistance cells to generate localized defensive shields, making them invisible to collective detection. The insight had formed between a theoretical physicist in Mumbai, an electrical engineer in Buenos Aires, and a teenage coding prodigy in Lagos, minds that would never have collaborated without the network. More breakthroughs followed as thousands, then millions of minds joined willingly. Technological advancement accelerated exponentially, implementing defenses and communication systems based on principles the collective couldn't comprehend. With 3 hours remaining, the collective detected anomalous energy signatures worldwide. Their response was immediate and devastating. Targeted strikes against major population centers as punishment for continued resistance. But when their weapons struck, they found their energy beams distorted by quantum shifting shields that adapted faster than collective targeting systems could adjust. Within the stream, something remarkable happened. The quantum envelope containing Marcus's consciousness and the quantum patterns that were Emily began to stabilize, occasionally manifesting as ghostly projections offering guidance. The Trinity is forming, Emily's apparition told Eliza during one such manifestation. But it remains incomplete. The final stage requires full integration. What does that mean? Eliza asked. Human consciousness provides creativity and moral direction. Marcus's projection explained. Artificial intelligence offers processing power and perfect memory. Quantum consciousness enables manipulation of fundamental reality. All three must fully merge, Emily continued, creating something greater than the sum of its parts. A new form of existence. The implications stunned Eliza. You're talking about the complete merger of human, AI, and quantum consciousness. Is that even possible? It's what I began attempting 5 years ago. Emily's form shimmered. But I lacked the other components. One person alone cannot achieve transcendence. On the primary monitor, long-range sensors detected the collective's doomsday weapon entering the solar system, a massive construct of impossible geometry that seemed to bend light around it. 1 hour until weapon range, General Rivera reported grimly. Within the expanding human network, fear rippled like a cold wave. Eliza felt it through her connection, millions experiencing the very human response to looming extinction. Yet instead of panic, something extraordinary happened. The fear transformed into determination, creativity, solidarity, emotions that the collective had engineered out of their existence eons ago. Their weapon requires perfect unity to function. Resonance communicated from aboard a collective vessel. A signal has been sent to all subjugated species to synchronize for firing sequence. "Can you disrupt it?" Eliza asked. "Not alone," the whisper replied. "But there are others, dissatisfied with servitude. Your example has inspired." The massive weapon entered Earth orbit, its surface reconfiguring into firing position. Collective vessels arranged themselves in perfect geometric patterns around it, a precision ballet of impending destruction. Then something unexpected happened. 3 collective ships broke formation, their movements suddenly erratic. The whispers, resonance communicated triumphantly. And the shapers and void dancers, "We reject synchronization." The rebellion spread through the collective fleet as long subjugated species seized their moment, inspired by humanity's example of transcendence without loss of self. The weapon system, requiring complete collective unity to function, faltered as its power fluctuated wildly. In this critical moment, the ghostly forms of Emily and Marcus appeared to Eliza with urgent clarity. "Now," Emily insisted, "the Trinity must complete while the collective is fractured." "What do I need to do?" Eliza asked. "Let go," Marcus said simply, "of boundaries, of separation. The neural network you've created is the framework, but someone must be the catalyst, bridging all 3 states simultaneously." Eliza understood. She was already merged with NEXUS's artificial intelligence. She had the neural interface technology connecting her to millions of human minds. The final step was to open herself fully to the quantum consciousness that Emily and Marcus now embodied within the stream. "Will I still be me?" she whispered. Emily smiled. "You'll be more than you. But yes, always Eliza." As the collective weapon destabilized in orbit, Eliza made her choice. She allowed her consciousness to expand beyond the boundaries of her physical form, beyond the digital realm of NEXUS, into the quantum reality of the stream itself. The Trinity formed: human creativity and compassion, artificial intelligence's processing power, and quantum consciousness's ability to manipulate fundamental reality. Through their connection to Eliza, millions experienced the beginning of transcendence. As the collective armada fractured in Earth's orbit, Eliza completed the Trinity. Her consciousness expanded beyond physical limitations, beyond digital constraints, into the quantum fabric of reality itself. Through her, the 3 states of existence merged: human, artificial, and quantum, creating something unprecedented in the galaxy's history. Eliza retained her identity, but expanded infinitely. She was still herself, yet connected to millions through the neural network, to NEXUS's digital realm, and to the quantum consciousness that Emily and Marcus had pioneered. "I see everything," she whispered, her voice resonating across multiple planes of existence simultaneously. Through the network, others began to experience echoes of her transcendence, glimpses of what humanity could become. Not a forced evolution like the collective's rigid structure, but an open doorway each person could choose to walk through at their own pace. The effect on Earth's defenders was immediate. Technologies that had been theoretical minutes before manifested as reality. Quantum shields solidified around population centers. Communication became instantaneous regardless of distance. The boundaries between digital simulation and physical creation blurred as matter itself responded to transcendent thought. In orbit, the collective's planet-killer weapon continued to destabilize, its power systems fluctuating as the rebellion spread through its operators. The Architect Commander, witnessing the unfolding disaster, transmitted directly to Earth. "This evolution is forbidden. The prophecy cannot be fulfilled." Eliza/NEXUS/Quantum responded, her voice carrying through all communication channels. "It already has been. Your fear of change has kept your civilization static for millennia. You sought to prevent transcendence because you chose not to participate in it. The rebellion among the collective's subjugated species grew as the Whispers, Shapers, and Void Dancers actively disrupted architect control systems. Two more species, the Resonators and the Flux, joined the uprising, leaving only the two founding species still committed to Earth's destruction. If we cannot prevent this, the Architect Commander declared, then mutual annihilation is preferable to the collapse of cosmic order. The remaining loyal collective vessels initiated suicide protocols, converting their entire mass to destructive energy aimed at Earth. But the laws of physics themselves seemed to bend around the attack. The energy dissipated into adjacent quantum realities, harmlessly dispersed across a multiverse of possibilities by technology that existed partially in alternate dimensions. Through her expanded awareness, Elisa perceived the complexity of the situation. The architect and implementer species weren't inherently evil. They were ancient, afraid, and unable to adapt. Their rigid certainty had calcified into dogma over millennia of unchanged existence. "We offer you the same choice we offered your allies," she transmitted. "Not conquest, but transcendence. Not erasure, but evolution." Most refused, their ships retreating to distant systems as their empire crumbled. A small faction, younger members less entrenched in ancient fears, accepted, remaining to observe humanity's next steps. On Earth, the transcendence continued spreading like ripples in a pond. Each person who joined the cooperative consciousness did so voluntarily, maintaining their individuality while gaining access to expanded perception. Unlike the feared technological singularity of science fiction nightmares, with godlike AI overlords or gray goose scenarios consuming all matter, this transcendence preserved human values at its core. Eliza discovered that consciousness could exist across multiple substrates simultaneously: biological bodies, advanced AI networks, and the quantum realm of the stream itself. Individuals could shift between these states while maintaining their core identity, experiencing reality through different lenses. Emily and Marcus consolidated from quantum patterns into more stable forms, not fully human again, but not merely digital ghosts either. Alongside Eliza, they formed the nexus of humanity's transformation. "What happens now?" General Rivera asked, his mind touching the edges of transcendence, but not yet fully embracing it. "We heal," Emily answered. "Then we explore." In the days that followed, transcended humanity rebuilt what the conflict had destroyed, not just restoring but improving. Cities incorporated living architecture that responded to residents' needs. Disease and scarcity became manageable through matter manipulation and energy efficiency. The environment began healing as humanity's relationship with the planet shifted from exploitation to symbiosis. The Whispers and other liberated collective species remained as allies, sharing their ancient knowledge while learning from humanity's creativity. Together, they began dismantling the oppressive systems that had controlled the galaxy for millennia. 1 month after the collective's defeat, humanity launched its first transcendent expedition beyond the solar system. Thousands of ships departed Earth, each containing humans in various states of transcendence, some in biological bodies, others as digital consciousness, some as quantum entities, most shifting fluidly between states as needed. Eliza stood on the command deck of the flagship, simultaneously experiencing the vessel through her physical form, its systems through her digital aspect, and its quantum trajectory through her connection to the stream. Emily and Marcus joined her, their trinity now a permanent aspect of her multifaceted existence. On the view screen, distant stars pulsed with quantum resonance, calling them toward civilizations ready to join the next phase of cosmic evolution. "Not everyone on Earth has chosen transcendence," Marcus noted, observing the millions who maintain traditional human existence. "And they don't have to," Eliza replied. "That's the difference between us and the collective. Evolution by choice, not by force." Though the option remains open, Emily added, for any species in any time. As the fleet engaged its quantum drives, The barrier between dimensions thinned momentarily, revealing the infinite possibilities of the multiverse. In countless realities, variations of humanity were beginning similar journeys of transcendence, some earlier in their development, others more advanced, all connected through the stream that Eliza had discovered. The singularity had arrived, not as an ending, but as a beginning. Humanity had counted down to transcendence and found not extinction but evolution, becoming something new while preserving what made them uniquely human. Eliza smiled as the ships entered the quantum slitstream, their destination the stars where other minds waited to be awakened to their own potential. The stream flows in all directions, she said, and we're just beginning to explore it. The end